Sometimes the hardest part about moving forward isn't taking the next step. It's resisting the urge to look back at your past. And the more you look back, the harder it becomes for you to walk the road that God is guiding you to walk. Today, I want to talk about why, looking back can steal the future that God is trying to build for you. It can hold you back from the future that you're trying to build. It can keep you stuck in a place where you shouldn't be anymore, Yeah. So, welcome to Heavy Talks G.O.A.T, where it's always God over all things. Now, let's talk about this. So, if you've ever felt, or if you've ever tried to leave behind an old habit, an old relationship, an old mindset, an old version of yourself, an old job, whatever it might be, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Moving forward in life sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest things to do when you are so used to a certain situation or a certain lifestyle or just certain things. When you're just so used to that old pattern, it becomes very difficult to move forward. When you're used to the old comfort, it's hard for you to move forward. And moving forward out of that is one of the hardest things you might ever do in life, because your mind keeps trying to pull you back to what is familiar, to what feels comfortable, to what you know. All right? Walking that unknown road is hard. You don't have certainty. You don't really see where the road is leading. Where in the past you might have been able to see that, you were gonna have certain things by X time. You're gonna have a steady income because of this situation or because of this job, And when you step out of that, or when you want to step out of that after being used to it and being stuck in that situation for so long, it really messes with your mind, It's hard, really hard to move forward. And it's understandable. It's very understandable, Me, myself, I've realized how easy it is for me to even look back on the past and romanticize the past when God is asking me to move forward and leave behind certain things. You get me? So, it's a hard thing to do, but it can be done. It can definitely be done. Your old life will call you when you're trying to move forward. The doubts will fill your mind when you're trying to move forward. The fear will speak to you at night when you're trying to move forward onto a new path that is unknown. Your brain craves what is comfortable. Your brain loves the familiar feeling. Your brain loves knowing what's going to happen tomorrow and the next day and the rest of the week. Basically, your whole system is just built to stay in what's known and what's comfortable. But sometimes you're meant to be in a place for a season and you're not meant to stay there when that season is over. So, I can tell you about a personal experience. It's something that I'm going through right now, which is why I felt led to talk about it. Maybe somebody going through the same experience might find some guidance or some value in it, you know. So I left my job recently, not that long ago, about 2 months now. And sometimes me walking a new path, it just feels so uncomfortable and so uncertain that it makes me want to go back to that job. It makes me want to consider going back to a job that I hated. And I won't even say I hated the job, but I guess I just outgrew the job. And that's what happens with a lot of things in your life. You just outgrow things, and it's time to move on to something new. But staying in it too long is going to give you that feeling of resentment. You stay in something too long that you've outgrown, it's gonna slowly turn into dislike and discomfort. So it's really been a challenge for me. I'm sure it's a challenge for people going through the same thing. But you just have to take the energy that you're thinking about going backwards, and you have to put that energy into the things that are going to move you forward. You get me? You can't keep focusing on and thinking about what if, right? Right now I'm in a situation where I'm not sure where money is coming from. You get me? I have no idea where my next dollars are coming from. So, it's just, you have to walk by faith. You have to walk by faith. You can't lean on your own understanding. There might be things God is trying to protect you from, God is trying to lead you away from, that steer your life off course, that steer you away from your purpose. I was at my job, and the amount of time that job took away from me and the energy it took away from me was just, didn't give me any room to focus on anything else, really. After working all day, coming home tired, sometimes it's hard to focus on other things. And sometimes when you have that comfort, you don't want to do anything new, right? When you have that comfort, you just feel like, okay, I'm here. It's all good. It's all gravy. We can just keep doing this for however long. And you realize one day you're not really living your purpose. You're not really going after your ambitions, your real ambitions. Can be very, it's just not a good situation, So, me leaving that job and me not having the money that I used to have, it really makes me wonder if I'm moving in the right path. And those are the doubts that will come to you, But there's an in-between where you're leaving the old and you're going to the new, where things are not going to be certain. Things are going to be very unknown. Things are going to be very much in the dark. And you just have to kind of accept that and work through it and live through it and keep pushing forward. Don't be stagnant. Don't waste your energy looking back and thinking it would be better if I go back and have this stable income. It would be better if I go back and have this stable relationship and whatever it might be. You know? Life is about moving forward and progression. So, we need to consider those things when trying to move forward, right? So, yeah, been really experiencing it myself. I've been looking at myself thinking, man, I just wish I had that stable income back so I could do certain things. But God has definitely been leading me away from the old job, which I already left, but there is the opportunity for me to go back, and He is not guiding me to go back. If you look at the Bible, there's a verse, there's a story in there about Lot and Lot's wife. She kept looking back and she was turned into a pillar of salt, yeah. So, that's just a lesson. You don't look back where there's nothing there for you. I mean, there might be something there for you, but is it really what's for you? Or is it really just what's the old that you're used to? Right? So, don't look back like Lot's wife. I'm trying myself to not do the same thing and just put all my energy and focus into the things that God is calling me to do. And I think you should do the same. You should do the same. You know? If a relationship is toxic, you need to get out of that. If a situation feels uncomfortable I should say, and it feels like you shouldn't be there anymore, then get out of that situation. You don't need to have the full roadmap. You don't need to be able to see the whole road. You get me? Most times when God is leading you, most times in life in general, you're not gonna see the whole road. Especially if you're trying something that you're really inspired by, you know? Something that you really want to do. You're not gonna see the whole road, and you're gonna have to push through a lot of uncertainty and a lot of doubts. And that is just part of it. That is just part of it. Don't let the doubts and the old comfort and the memory of the old comfort keep you in places that you're not supposed to be anymore. Don't let it keep you stagnant. Don't let it keep you in a place of thinking all the while. If I should go back, maybe it would be better. Maybe I could go back and try a different way. You know, God might genuinely be leading you to do that, but most times He's leading you forward, away from the old, and into the new. So, if you need direction on what to do, just pray. Ask for discernment. Use your discernment. Use your discernment and try and understand the environment you're in and the people around you, and if you're really called to be there, or if you're called to do something higher and something that's more fit for your life, you know? Living paycheck to paycheck is not the way to live. Working a soulless job forever is not the way to live. You have a lot of different ways you can do life, you know. You can continue to work the job, use that money and do certain things, put it towards what you're working on. And that's what I've been even thinking of doing, but that's not what God is calling me to do, you know. He's calling me to walk by faith and not by sight. He is the provider. You shall not want, you know. Not trying to preach, I'm just keeping it real and telling you what's been my experience and how I'm seeing things with what God is teaching me and showing me. right? So yeah, that's just a lesson. Don't keep looking back. Looking back is going to keep you stuck. Looking back is going to keep you stuck. So stop looking back at the old. Stop looking back at that old relationship. Stop looking back at that old situation. Stop looking back at that old friendship. There's a time when God will genuinely make reconciliation possible, but you know, you have to ask and really ask if that friendship or that relationship is meant to be in your life, you know? And some of us, we get so used to toxic things and it just gets so comfortable that, and what we're used to, that you just want it back when it's gone, even when you know it's not good for you. Habits are another thing that you shouldn't look back on. Old bad habits, right? You gotta leave those habits behind and move forward. Improve. Find something to work on to improve. Find your purpose and work towards that every single day, you know? So, don't let the doubts get to you. Don't let the fear of the unknown keep you in what is known and familiar if you're being called out of that. Okay? The doubts are gonna come, the fear is gonna come. Just pray. Ask for strength, ask for guidance, ask for direction. It will come. It might not come in a loud voice, which it rarely ever does. It might come in advice from someone. It might come in a video. It might come in a reel on Instagram or TikTok. You know, you have to just look for, I'm not even saying look for, but when you pray, you will get direction, one way or another, you know? Sometimes you just have to sit down in silence and listen to the still small voice that is guiding you, okay? So, if there is one thing I want you to take away from this, just one thing: do not look back at what is holding you back. Do not stay stuck because you keep romanticizing the past. Do not keep looking back because it will drain your energy from moving forward. It will drain the focus that you need from the things that you need to do to be moving forward. I hope that makes sense. I truly hope it makes sense for somebody. Hope it speaks to somebody. And until next time, remember, it's God over all things. I will catch you in the next video.